All right, it is 14 days to the general election, and campaigns for the presidential poll are reaching a crescendo, just as Nigerians are prepared to vote in leaders who will represent their interests. As Nigerians battle with fuel and naira scarcity, there is anger and frustration in the land, and some analysts say this might influence the voting pattern for the presidential election. Another issue that might shape the outcome of the poll is insecurity. Nigerians are yearning for a president who will tackle this problem head-on upon assumption of office as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Joining us from Abuja is the National Coordinator, Northern Young Professionals for Tinubu, Abdullahi Tanko Yakasai. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you. Good morning for having me.
Right. Now, let's begin with the issue on the ground that almost all Nigerians are facing, talking about the fuel scarcity as well as the scarcity of the naira. Are you concerned that this might impact the polls in any way?
Okay, thank you so much. This fuel scarcity and the issue of the Naira redesign is something that has bedeviled everyone. It's something that has put a lot of people on hardship, because this kind of changing of currency has happened in a lot of countries. But the timing is what we're looking at. The timing is coinciding with the time of elections. And this is just few days to the time of election. And we thought the federal government would have looked at these issues so that we will have a rancor-free election. And then we expected that this Naira redesign should be allowed to run, people should be allowed to spend their money concurrently. The new Naira notes and the old Naira notes can be spent at the same time, till at the time when naturally the old ones will phase out. This is what is obtainable across the globe. This is what we expected to see the government do. But being it as it may, this has happened, and the Supreme Court has come out to give its judgment and has said, okay, it has halted or extended this for 5 days. Today would have been the end day for expending the old Naira notes, but we have had the grace of additional 5 days, which subsequently, that is the time when the Supreme Court is going to hear this matter. So, as it is now, people are still suffering, especially the rural ones, because they are the ones at the downtrodden. They are the ones that don't have this even bank accounts. Those are the ones that transact on daily basis with cash. So the whole economy as it is now is, a lot of people are suffering because of this government policy. But we expect that the Supreme Court will allow this thing to continue even beyond the 5 days now grace for the hearing of the matter, so that things will continue to normalize. People will continue to spend the old currencies they have at home and then do their businesses. Then the issue of the queues in the filling stations. This is another very huge issue at this time when election is around the corner, because people need to travel to their various states, to their various local governments, to go to their polling units and cast their vote. If there's no fuel, it means there's an infringement on the right of the citizens to go out there and cast their votes. So a lot of people will be stagnated at the point at which they are now, because they can't have mobility because of the lack of the fuel, the inavailability of the fuel at the filling stations. It is surprising that a lot of filling stations have the fuel, but have decided to lock it up. So we want to see proactive measures taken by the NNPCL so that this fuel will be so sufficient in the filling stations that people can easily and at the rate appropriated, people can buy this fuel and then travel for this election, so that we'll be able to see a lot of participation, so much participation across the whole country. People can go and cast their votes and exercise their civic responsibility.
Now, you heard the presidential candidate of the APC say in Abeokuta the other day that there were saboteurs. Then the governor of Kaduna State said that there were fifth columnists, a cabal within the Aso Rock who do not want your party, the APC, to win the election. And we've also seen from the First Lady herself confirm what both of them said. And to the credit of the First Lady, she was the first person years ago who talked about some people who did not take part in the election, who are now benefiting from it. What is your take on all of this?
It is so obvious that Mr. President has a very good intention for the country, because it's just the opposition that are insinuating that Mr. President is not with us. Mr. President is with our presidential candidate, Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he has been going with him to the campaigns across the nation. So, but the cabal that has been talked about is there. Nasir El-Rufai has categorically stated, His Excellency the Executive Governor of Kaduna has categorically stated that some people are undermining the president, disguising under the fact that the good intention of the president, they are disguising under it to sabotage the system. Mr. Godwin Emefiele has contested this election, and he lost, or he withdrew, He withdrew at the tail end. That means he has had the notion of becoming the president of this country. So whatever it takes, people will believe that Emefiele is bringing this thing at this moment because he has a hidden agenda. This is somebody that has had a lot of allegations around this governance of the CBN, which we had the investigation was going on, and he couldn't come back until he was given ultimatum by the National Assembly, specifically the House of Representatives, that he should come and face them to explain some certain things that are not clear. He came back, and so sudden, we are wondering, so sudden this man is there and is causing a lot of confusion in the system. Untoward hardship is being given to Nigerians. People are queuing up on in ATMs, something that has never been done. You go to the POS, they would debit you to credit someone and then charge you twice for debiting you and then for crediting someone. And then the cash is not available. So we feel there are fifth columnists in the presidential cycle that are undermining this country. And this is a crucial time of election. In every country at this time, precautions measures are taken so that elections will hold peacefully. We love the fact that the chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has come out to give his confidence that these elections will hold. But there are a lot of issues, logistics, relating with the cash. Emefiele has given assurances to the INEC office, but we don't even trust that. Because if the ordinary man on the street is finding it difficult to buy food in Abuja here, food that you buy 300, 500, you have to transfer, and the woman has to see her alert before she gives you food. How many hours will you spend doing that? So we feel that this is is ill-timed, even though it's a good policy, good intended policy, but the outcome has shown that there are a lot of issues that need to be addressed. So the best thing we expect is for the government to come out and just say it openly that this money should be concurrently spent. the old and the new Naira zones, so that we have a free and fair election, irrespective of what the CBN has to say. There's now a court judgment by the Supreme Court. So we feel that the Supreme Court will do the right thing. In the next 5 days, it will extend it beyond even the time of the elections. So this is our prayer, this is our hope, and we feel those working against this national interest will be defeated at the end.
All right, Abdullahi, excuse me, the move for the redesigning of the Naira started sometime late last year. And when it was announced, we saw sometime where the president granted an interview and said that the 4 months of this window was adequate for Nigerians, any kind of amount of money they have or wherever they reside, to be able to return all of those monies into the system and all of that. Did you think that the 4 months window that was given for this to implement was adequate? What was your mind regarding that?
It's so inadequate. It's so inadequate. It's so obvious, because you should allow people to, on their own, go to get an avenue to change their currency from the old one to the new ones. You see, why is it that there should be a timeline, an instant timeline for which this money must phase out? Allow it naturally to phase out, whether it takes 3 months, whether it takes 4 months, or 6 months, or even 9 months. Allow it naturally to phase out if there is no hidden motive. This is what we are saying. Let it gradually phase out. This monies, the rich people, the politicians, they don't go to the queues. They don't go to the banking hall. Money comes to them. So this thing is impacting negatively on the masses. This is our concern. Somebody that goes to one village market, buy his stuff, and then the next day, another market, he goes there and sell his stuff, and then buy another one in another market. These are issues that are bringing untoward hardship to people. A lot of agitations now. People are getting agitated. We've seen riots in Ondo, we've seen riots in Ogun, Abeokuta, and even in Benin. Banks were being attacked. Why should we allow this thing to degenerate to this level? So the 4 month given for us, for every Nigerian, is inadequate, because it has shown that at this time, the best thing the government should have done was to say, okay, let's open up and allow this money to be spent concurrently. This is what we are saying. So the 4 months you talked about is so inadequate at this material time, and we need more time. And this, we thank God the costs are there to help the people, and they're going to listen to this in the next 5 days. So this is a wonderful development, and we feel people will have a succor, so to say, from now to when the Supreme Court will hear this case.
We're speaking with the National Coordinator, Northern Young Professionals for Tinubu, Abdullahi Tanko Yakasai, with regards to recent developments as regards the fuel scarcity and the redesign notes scarcity in the country and its impact on the coming elections. Now, before we went on the break, Abdullahi, you said that there are fifth columnists who perhaps are sabotaging the efforts of the president. That the president have good intentions, but then this fifth columnist are sabotaging his, efforts. And I'm wondering, and I'm sure a majority of Nigerians are also wondering, to what end is this sabotage? Why are these persons trying to scuttle the good efforts that the presidents have put in place?
You see, all this boils down to the candidature of His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because of his emergence as the candidate of our great party, the APC, some people don't want that. You see, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's movement is like a storm. Nobody can stop it, only God. So it is surprising that these people are there orchestrating any, so to say, issues that will make our candidate not to succeed. But it's God that gives power. And Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you saw it in the primaries. He won overwhelmingly. And they feel they are not comfortable with him because they are not APC members. This has been said a lot of number of times. But the president has been coming with us now to campaign for us. We have seen him in Adama, we have seen him in Yobe, we have seen him in Katsina just recently, and yesterday in Sokoto State. So he's been with Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu on this, and he said they have come a long way. So, but some people are not comfortable, and they don't want to see Asiwaju become the next president. We have 21 governors in APC. And all the northern governors of APC came out to say that they have conceded power, they have conceded the position of the presidency to go to the south. This is, amazing. It's so amazing because Mr. President has done his 8 years, who is a northerner, and it is only right that the power shift to the south. And in APC, we have no any other than Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the south. In fact, in the whole of the country at the moment. And this is somebody that was instrumental to the coming of this government. So it is only right that we back him. But some people, few of them there are there, and they can't stop this. We have 21 governors. PDP has 14 governors. Out of their 14, 5 are even not with their candidate. So we are constant to victory, and they are not happy with it. That is why they are doing all this to sabotage the party and the candidate. But the capacity of the candidate is not in doubt. The ability of our party to deliver the next election is not in doubt. So these people need to realize that they either just lay back or they should come on board. Because all these policies, all these things they are doing to sabotage the effort will not deter the party and will not stop us from winning the 2023 elections. We have seen the renewed hope Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is talking about. It is what Nigerians are believing in. What the changes he wants to bring. He said from day one, he will remove subsidy. If you remove subsidy with the revenue we are generating from FIRS, from other revenue generation agencies like the Port Authority, we won't be where we are today. We will prosper because we can be able to fund our budget. We won't be running on deficit. That is on the economy. And then on social infrastructure that Asiwaju has been talking about, we have seen what he has done in Lagos. The common man, he established the common man law. Where people can go and get lawyers that will defend them. He is the defender of the law. So this will happen at the national level. How many states have imbibed that? About 10 states now have that court. And then you look at the employment generation he has done in Lagos. These are some of the things that we want to see. Our teaming youth that are on the streets need to be taken off the streets. He has done it in Lagos by establishing LASMA, by establishing LOMA. Even the LOMA, the Waste Management Agency, is copied directly by 10 states at the moment from the Lagos model. Even my state, Kano State, has adopted it. The Road Traffic Management Agency, the same thing, has been adopted. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is giving women positions. When he was governor, he was the first person to make a head of service woman a head of service. He has done so many things, parameters that you take to measure the capacity of a leader is number one in so many places. The revenue generation in Lagos is what we're looking at, because without revenue, we can't prosper. And even without the revenue, the investors cannot bring their direct foreign investment to the nation. So the capacity of Abdullahi Tinubu is beyond anybody's imagination. This is why we're canvassing this support, why we want to see him as the next president of this country. The opposition are there, and then in connivance with these people. So all they are doing is to frustrate the effort of the APC in producing Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the next president. And Mr. President has shown now that he's with him. On a number of occasions, he has raised his hand to say, this is somebody that will succeed me. He said for over 20 years, they've been struggling in this democracy. And this is where we are today. And then our governors are all rallying behind him. And then the track record of a politician is what you look at, his antecedent, to measure whether he can deliver or not. We've seen them now because the opposition is frustrated.
Can you hear me?
Some of them are using abusive languages. Yes, I can hear you.
Right. I was saying that, these are weighty allegations that you have made. You said that some persons who are not members of your party in connivance with the oppositions are the ones that are sabotaging all of this effort because of your candidates. And I'm saying these are weighty allegations. Do you have evidence backing up all of these statements? Can you really come out clearly to state the facts with all the statements you are making now?
You can't just come here and start mentioning names. But it is a known fact that there are saboteurs, there are fifth columnists in the government, and then even His Excellency Governor, if I mention it, they are there. The Emefiele himself has contested, has wanted to contest. He bought a form and he wanted to be president. He should have stepped down during that time if he had wanted to contest. So now, because he could not get the ticket, he did his calculation and see that he could not win the election. And so he's trying all efforts to sabotage our candidate. This is what we are saying. He is the principal behind all these issues. Naira Redesign that has caused a lot of hardship. So if you're looking for the person, the number one person that has caused these issues because of his antagonism to our candidate, because of his insincerity of purpose, that is why he's doing all this. And then he can't be alone. He can't do it alone. So what they are telling Mr. President is not genuine. He has said that, yes, if you change currency, those monies that are being used for illicit drugs, for money laundering, they have to bring them back to bank. But that's a genuine intention. But behind the motive is what we are talking about. So it is clear, Emefiele is not with us. It's the government of APC that gave him a second term that we have not seen anybody in the last how many decades. We have not seen any CBN governor got a second term. Emefiele got that second term and is sabotaged under the government of APC and is now sabotaging the APC. This is what we are talking about.
Mahmoud Jega was here to talk about one phrase in Hausa, forgotten it now, which says, your own is your own. That is going around like a whispering campaign in the north, in which some people are saying that, in the north, some people are saying that, no, don't vote for anybody who is not a Fulani. Some people say that is a whispering campaign going up north. And he said that there are counter moves by your party to say, no, this is not the case. Can you tell me how strong that campaign is and whether you guys have designed strategies to counter it and how well it has gone?
Well, you see, the presidential candidate of PDP, being a northerner, a Fulani, they thought if they say to the northerners that vote your own, that will make them get sympathy votes. But I'm telling you that we have 21 governors, and all the northern governors came out to say, which are in the majority in the north, came out to say that they are supporting a power shift to the south. So where is it that PDP has gone to campaign, that APC has gone, and that phrase of Naka say Naka is working? It's not working anywhere. It's not working. When Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, His Excellency, went to Arewa House, when the Northern Arewa Consultative Forum organized that town hall meeting with the presidential candidates, that was where it started. That was where Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of PDP, said, Northerners, he is a Northerner, so he knows Northerners will vote for him. No! Because Kano, you've seen the rallies. You've seen PDP yesterday in Kano. So scanty. It's not, in fact, I'm sure they're ashamed of themselves. But when Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu went to Kano, Kano stood still. It took us 3.5 hours from the government house to the stadium. Where's the Naka say Naka? We're ready. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done for the North what in all the young generations have not seen that before. He was instrumental to President Buhari becoming the president of this country in 2015, and supported him again for a second term in 2019. So for Northerners, we the Northerners, this is payback time. We will pay back Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu with massive votes. You have seen it everywhere he goes for campaign. From when we went to Katsina, from the airport to the Emir's Palace, from Emir's Palace to the stadium, I'm telling you, the mammoth crowd we saw, the security had to be cautious so that there won't be stampede. That is the love the Northerners have for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If you had seen what happened in Sokoto yesterday, it is unbelievable. That is why I'm telling you, the opposition now, especially the PDP, they are now so jittery, they are frustrated, they've started using abusive language. I was watching on social media, Senator Dune Melai, a former senator, a senior citizen, abusing our vice presidential candidate, distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima. That was very childish and embarrassing. You said he abused Atiku. Can you prove, can you bring a clip where distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima abused Atiku? There's none. And then you said he doesn't have decorum, that he's rude and he doesn't have decorum for abusing Atiku. And said you use nasty words. You, Dino Melai, do you have decorum for you to utter those words in presence of youth, young ones, to utter those words, you that you fought in the House of Reps, that your clothes got torn? It's very embarrassing. These are signs of frustration. So the whole North will massively vote for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It has happened 30 years ago. I'm from Kano. When late Moshood MPO Abiola contested Kano, Katsina, then there was no Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Bauchi, all the northern states overwhelmingly voted for MPO Abiola in Yoruba against someone from Kano. Alhaji Bashir Tofa, it will repeat itself, inshallah. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to coast to victory. He is going to win in the north overwhelmingly. And there's no way Alhaji Atiku Abubakar can win this election, because you cannot win with the north. You have to cross over the Niger. Where do they have? For me, anywhere I see a Labour Party, somebody going to Labour Party. I'm smiling because they are working for us, the PDP, the APC. They are working for us. It was a house divided by itself because the Konkosia, the Labour Party, and the presidential candidate is a house divided by itself. We have been strong. We have been together. We have 21 governors out of the 36 states. They have 15 governors and 14 governors, and 5 are not with the presidential candidate. So they are left with 8. That is the capacity of our candidate. That is to tell you we are going to coast to victory, and the signs are there for everybody to see. All the shenanigans, all the hypocrisy, Asuwaju is getting acceptability, is gaining grounds across the nation. Look at his campaigns in the southeast. Our governors are there. So all these things people are talking about, Naka, it will not work. The North will overwhelmingly vote for Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and you can see it. They're getting frustrated. They're divided. They have a lot of issues, and we are getting stronger and united. And the governors, we can't thank them enough because they're so united and they're on one front to deliver Asuwaju Bola Ahmed as the next president. And that is a government that will foster good relationship, because once Asuwaju becomes the president, there's now that marriage between the North and the Southwest, and then our other parts of the country that are APC. And then the issue of whether Nigeria will be divided or not will be buried, dead and buried.
Abdullahi, it's good you have painted a picture like that, but let's take it further a little bit. The renewed hope, which is the slogan and the title for your presidential candidate, points to what Nigerians should look forward to if he wins the election. Can you break it down for our Nigerians to understand what is that thing that your candidate Asuwaju will do for Nigerians? What are the things that you think, if he wins the presidential candidacy, he gets to victory, what do you think he's going to do to change Nigeria, for what Nigerians are looking forward to?
Okay, you see, he has His Excellency Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a lot of programs in that his manifesto, the renewed hope. Take for instance, majority of Nigerians are farmers. When we were young, we used to hear of the commodity exchange market. He's going to reintroduce that market such that whatever produce that is there, so as to have food sufficiency, whatever produce that is there, the market will now determine the price, and it will regulate the price, and whoever is selling his commodities at a lesser price, the government will buy it. He says there's going to be a lot of storage facilities peculiar to every region, such that if you produce your goods, government will buy it at a rate that will be determined by the boards and the market, and then it will store it and then pay you off so long as you're going to sell it below that price. And then once this is done, the farmer has maximized his profit because he's going to sell off his produce. This is a very good and wonderful initiative. We wonder why this has been abandoned in such a long time. And then Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he's going to tame corruption. How? He's going to introduce technology. He has done that in Lagos, the single treasury account. He's going to see to it that there's a lot of technology being used in running the affairs of the government. There are two things there. It will reduce a lot of bureaucracy in the system, and then secondly, it will reduce a lot of corrupt tendencies. That is what we want to see. On the economy, Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu like I said earlier, he's going to remove fuel subsidy. Once you remove fuel subsidy, you have the other revenue agencies bringing on board the revenue they generate. We can fund our budget. We don't need to be borrowing. We have even surplus to do other things. We have seen how Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has generated a lot of employment. This is what is bedeviling the youth. Unemployment. He's going to, through all these policies, a lot of youth will be engaged. He's going to provide soft loan for students so that university students can be able to get loan and then pay for their school, and then they will continue with their studies. A lot of our youth are dropping out of universities because they cannot pay the tuition fee. It's there in the manifesto. In terms of healthcare, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he was governor, he built 4 hospitals in Lagos to augment the teaching hospital there. He was given free antenatal, free medical eyeglasses, a program that was so accepted that up to today, people are still talking about it. These are social programs that a lot of people don't get to see in governance. He's going to reintroduce these things. There are a lot of things that we should look at in that Renewed Hope manifesto. If you look at the areas of housing, he's going to do the same. He has done that in Lagos by, the judiciary, by improving the social welfare, the overall welfare of the judicial officers. Once this is done, the common man goes to the courts, and the courts gives, they give judgments on, a lot of issues which, if they are comfortable, if their welfare is comfortable, they will do justice to the common man. And then there are other areas like, if you're looking at the infrastructure, borrowing is not bad. So long as you borrow money to do investment, make sure that investment generates the money to pay back that loan. This is what he has been talking about. He will give a level playing ground for foreign direct investment to come into the country, so that a lot of infrastructural developments will be ongoing, and then will pay back. You see, some of these programs have been imbibed by a lot of states, and this is what he has done when he was governor, that made us feel, yes, these policies in the Renewed Hope are workable, they are achievable, they are what we need to change the society, to better the society, to have a government that people will feel, yes, this is the government of the people. You see? So there's a lot to say about the Renewed Hope, that's the manifesto, especially the insecurity is one challenge. I've had a lot of times Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu talk about how to use the technology in fighting insecurity, because that is the fastest and easiest way to tackle insecurity. Once you imbibe technology into it, you get to know the targets, you get to know where the problem is, and then you attack the insecurity issues by using drones, by using modern technology. And our farmers will go smiling home. And then the students will have soft loans. So these are the programs we feel a lot of Nigerians, and this is what our organization, the Northern Young Professionals, are telling all professional groups, especially in the North, that this is what Asiwaju has for you. And once you vote for him, these are attainable, because he has done it before. We have seen it, he has done it. So this is why we feel the Renewed Hope is one document that will make sure the students of politics get to read this document so that they know what Asiwaju has planned, the plan he has for these young ones. And then,
Abdullahi,
a plan that no any other.
Quickly, I need to ask this question quickly.
Compared to this.
Right. I need to ask this question quickly before we let you go, because our time is running out. You mentioned that the North will vote overwhelmingly for your candidate. And I'm wondering what numbers you are envisaging and perhaps the spread.
Okay, you see, like in Kano, just under our organization, the Northern Young Professionals for Tinubu, we're envisaging that in each local government, we're going to get 10,000 votes for Asuwaju in the whole of the North. So on the average, which is like, there are a lot of states with 21, 27, unlike Kano that has 44 local governments. So we do our math. We said if we can get 10,000 votes, on the average 20 local governments in each state, that is 200,000. 200,000 into 20 northern states, including FCT, would translate to 4 million. So this is just one support group. We have over 6,000 support groups for Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And then we have 21 governors. I keep repeating this. And these are governors that have been there and they are with their people. So we are not in doubt on the numbers, but we say that in Kano alone, we feel Asuwaju, out of the over 3 million votes, Asuwaju will produce 2 million votes. We'll get 2 million votes for Asuwaju. This will go in all the states. And mark you, the voting pattern in the north, if you don't know my sister, once the voting pattern in Kano is similar to that of Katsina, Jigawa, and Kaduna. Even if you leave Chika out of it, we call them the triple K. If we can get these votes, these are states that have large numbers of followers, and these are APC core states. In Kano, we have 44 local governments, we have 44 chairmen, we have 41 House of Representative members, we have 3 senators.
All right.
There's no any
Abdullahi,
any position.
if you can hear me, we need to wrap things up now. We need to wrap things up now.
Victory overwhelmingly.
Right.
Okay.
National Coordinator, Northern Young Professionals for Tinubu, Abdullahi Tanko Yakasai. I know you can go on and on, but we need to wrap things up now. Thank you so much for being a part of the program this morning. Thank you for your time.